Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Challenge podcast. My name is Challen, as far as I know, and I'm joined here today by my co-host Alex. How are you?
I'm not fine, thank you. Thanks for asking.
Not fine.
After a dismal first game week,
Yeah, it's
may
not.
as well just pack it up and leave.
I mean, that's what we tend to think, right? But at the end of the day, yes, you can see our ranks are next to our names, and please don't judge us based on that. We have a lot more to contribute in life than those numbers.
Yes, of course. We are building a futuresque team, I think.
Yes, yeah. And at the moment, we're not on red arrows. There's only been one game week, so we are straight up grey arrowing it. So we're
Right.
not doing badly. And again, now currently 8.5 million players. We are almost in the top half, or both of us combined. So we can't complain about that. We will improve though. We will rebuild.
Definitely.
It's good. I think we'll talk about our scores shortly, but it's a good foundation point, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. I
Yeah.
mean, isn't it fitting that the weather is decent after Haaland scores a brace on his debut?
Yes,
It's
it
great.
is. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Game Week 1 begrudgingly.
Hmm.
I'll be looking at some interesting stats, not the ones that you're probably used to, and then we're just going to look at our Game Week 2 predictions and then our transfers and captaincy.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Do you want to look at my team first or yours? Doesn't
I
matter.
mean, this is much of a muchness. I mean,
Yeah.
based on the ranks.
Okay, before we even
Let's
get
go.
into that, we spoke about our different drafts on Friday afternoon. We changed so many different times. We had tons of different drafts. We were very different at different stages of the day and throughout the week. And then come deadline, we had very similar team.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. Very template esque. And looking at your side, do you just want to break it down for us or should I?
You can break it down. I
Okay.
think I've had enough of my team already.
Okay. You ended up lining up with the two cheap 4 million defenders from Leicester. So you had Ward in goal. You went for the big at the back combo of James, Cancelo, Trent, and Robbo. In midfield, you went Salah, Neto, Saka, and Bailey. And up front, you went Kane and Jesus. On the bench, you had the, again, template of Iverson, Andreas, Neko, and Greenwood. You captain Salah, 55 points, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think for me it was a decent game week or return based on the team there. Um, I was hoping to start Haaland instead of Kane, sort of debating between the two, but wrongfully I went Kane, and I should have known Haaland always gets off to a good start, and Kane slow start. So it's a learning curve, I think.
I think, yeah, at the end of the day, I think a lot of people, us included, we ended up backing the players who we know play well in the league.
Yeah,
And we've been burnt in the past by choosing those who are untested in the Premier League but have done well elsewhere. So, cough, cough, Timo Werner, in
yeah.
years gone by. So choosing Kane, I think, made sense against Southampton. West Ham
Mm.
against City, it made sense not to go with them as well. But at the same time, good on you for going that way if you did. Uh,
Mm.
are you happy with the rest of your team though?
I was hoping Liverpool would have kept a clean sheet against Fulham, so I wasn't that surprised, or maybe surprised that they considered two. But I'm happy overall. I mean, Bailey and Neto were a bit disappointing, but wasn't asking much of them. Just a few extra points there.
Yeah, I think Neto for Wolves' goal, he assisted the assister. So
Right.
he's in the position, but it's
Yeah.
scoring a lovely goal. Bailey, on the other hand, he's 5 million, so you can't expect too much. But Aston Villa were bad. We'll talk
They
about them
were bad.
just now. But the rest of the team, Kane as well, not didn't do much. It's upsetting to see him so deep again,
Yeah.
and I'm just scared that Son is gonna go nuclear again too. So Kulusevski doing well though.
Yeah. That's no surprise there.
And okay, let's have a look at my team. I got ignore the number you see there. 51 is wrong. Apparently, I can't
Yes.
do maths.
Yes.
I got 58, and in goal, okay, our teams are basically exactly the same, except for the midfield duos of I went with Mount and Martinelli, and you went with Saka and Neto.
Right.
Oh, and the bench, I have Archer instead of Greenwood. So, again, not unhappy. Went for the two 4 million defenders, which I'm happy with in the end. As I told you, closest to deadline, my only options that I were considering changing was the combo of Robertson and Mount. They were going to be Trippier and Sterling. And in hindsight, yes, that combo of of Sterling and Trippier scored more, but I kind of like Robertson in the long run. It's a safe choice,
Yeah,
but
of
okay,
course.
it does now limit me from getting Diaz or Nunez, which is a bit annoying, but you can only hope.
Yeah. How yeah, how long did Nunes play for? Like 30, 40 minutes?
Yeah, he came on in the second half,
Yeah.
and he did very
Instant
well
impact.
again.
Yeah.
But
Sad.
yeah, okay, I guess from the Mount standpoint, the only negative there is I chose him for the medium term, so that's about 5 or 6 weeks. So I can't judge him on this one game, but he literally did nothing in the game. No shots on target, no key passes, nothing.
Do
So
not lie. You brought him in specifically for the Spurs game this current week.
I mean, yeah, we can say that too. Yeah, screw Spurs. He's gonna score a hat trick this week. It's
Yeah.
coming. Rest of the team, it was nice to see Ward doing well in goal for Leicester, so that increases the chance of them not signing a keeper. He did
Yeah.
concede twice, but his actual performance is good, so good for him.
Yeah, for me, I don't think I'm going to change much at the back, especially with the keepers. For 4 million starting keeper, there's no need.
Yeah, I think at this rate, it's probably going to stay that way until the wild card, whenever that is, game week 5 or 6, most likely, depending
Yeah.
on how this week goes, I guess. Uh, let's carry on then. Speaking of the game week discussion, we're going to talk about that, but I think first of all, I know it was the last game of the weekend on, was it Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
Sunday, Holland. Um, we're not going to talk about them last. We're just going to talk about them first. So let's talk about Man
Yes.
City and West Ham. What did you think watching the game?
Complete domination. West Ham were just outgunned, outplayed. They weren't in it.
Yeah, it wouldn't say it felt like a training game, but it felt very much
Yeah.
like they were just there,
Yeah.
and they were at home as well. And
Yeah.
the commentators were mentioning, and I forgot to think about that as well beforehand, that uh, City don't usually have a long preseason at all because they have a very long season usually,
Yeah.
being in all competitions. So they tend to have a short preseason, and therefore Pep mentioned it that they usually start slowly,
Yeah.
and hence I guess the loss in the Community Shield last week. And there were times in the West Ham game where they weren't at their best, but you could see they were finding it very quickly as well.
You could see they wanted more than West Ham. Like West Ham hardly had any shots. So Edison was pretty bored at the back, I think. And Pep doesn't really like playing with the number 9. So now with Holland, I think he's going to get a lot of distribution, as we saw in the game against West Ham.
Yeah, it's speaking about the elephant in the room. Haaland, yeah, did very well. He had numerous chances again. Probably could have scored a hat trick again, just like last week.
Yeah.
And this time, when I saw he won the penalty, I thought, oh, okay, yeah, Haaland gets the assist, and
Yeah.
De Bruyne gets the penalty, or Gundogan, and then I saw him
Yeah.
get the penalty. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
mm.
They basically just took the ball and said, "Yeah, I'll stand up. I'm taking it." It's not definitely going to be on penalty kicks, but yeah, you see his indication right from the start. He
It does
wants it.
it does seem that way. And I mean, when Aguero was there, I think as well he was on penalties too, at
Yeah.
least in the beginning. So the intent to score goals is there, and
Mm.
people don't seem to mind it.
Nah.
And yeah, how quickly after the game did you make your transfer?
Not straight
Spoiler
afterwards.
alert,
Yeah,
by the
just
way.
yesterday, just the day after.
Okay, yeah, there were I'm sure there
Yeah,
were many people who literally saw him take the penalty and then put him in their teams. Kane
yeah.
out.
After one goal, it's game over. Yeah,
So, especially after the Kane performance, I think it was a planned transfer for most of us,
definitely for me. Yeah,
but seeing the performance, you're like, oh damn, you can't wait on this guy.
I mean, he played in a way that he's been a City player for a long time. The way he ran through the defense, running onto the ball, like you saw with the first goal and the penalty, that extra burst of speed. That
That that and the okay, yeah, the speed and the composure of the second goal. Like he
yeah,
breaks through and you think, okay, he's gonna take a touch most likely. Nope, screw that. First touch,
yeah.
finesse, go.
Open up the body and then pass the keeper. That's what you want from a number 9.
So yeah, Bournemouth next week. So hmm,
I'm considering maybe it's a long shot triple captain, but maybe it's too soon.
I mean, it would be ballsy, but
Yeah,
why not? I guess
I
based on
mean,
what you're
from
saying.
going off the stat that you showed me, what was it on Saturday on Grob, people triple captaining him.
Yeah, two people.
Yeah, ridiculous.
There's always someone.
Yeah,
Anyone from West Ham that interested you at all? Scamacha? Scamacca? How do you say it?
not really.
Can't really say anything either.
No,
Uh,
I mean, I want to say Bowen, but yeah,
Actually, yeah, you know
wasn't
what?
it?
There was a period of play, I think, before the first goal where they were really hammering the City defense. Maybe it was just like two. I shouldn't say hammering. It was like two plays where they were
Yeah,
trying to score a goal, and when Antonio got the header, and I think was it Bowen assisted, but yeah, there was a brief glimpses. So going forward, I think they're going to do well this season.
yeah, I won't take much out of the first game. I mean, it's the first game. I mean,
Yeah, they've got a backup now
a
in
bit rusty.
Scamacca, so Antonio will get a rest, and Bowen looks on it again, so that's good for him.
Well, I mean, they are playing in Europe, so I think much rest is needed for Antonio.
Definitely. All right, looking at the next game, let's start at the top. Friday evening, we had Arsenal and Crystal Palace. Any standouts?
A lot actually. Zinchenko did fairly well. Uh, Martinelli just a beast with his pace and his skill. Jesus had some chances, but I think going forward, Arsenal look pretty good for top 4.
They do. They're linking up very well. It's Jesus, yeah, linking up very well with the team as well. Look, it's been one game, so we can't criticize his goal threat as
Yeah,
such. But he's always been very good at
mm.
passing and assisting. So
yeah,
I want to see him now scoring goals too. So
yeah. You could see he wants the ball more than he did at City. So I
definitely.
mean, he'll definitely get maybe 15 or more goals a season, I hope.
Saka Martinelli played well again.
Yeah,
Uh, For me, okay, initially that first game, I was mainly hoping that Arsenal would concede because, as you know, I had Ramsdale in goals. I was hoping, please concede. They didn't in the end, and I don't say I regret not going with him because that extra million helped elsewhere,
yeah.
but I still kind of want him.
I think deep down, I also want him, but for 5 million, I
I,
don't think so.
I still think I would rather have him above Zinchenko at this stage. I know it's early going and Zinchenko outscored him in the first game, but
Yeah,
yeah, that's me at least. Uh, Fulham and Liverpool, Mitrovic playing very well. Fulham playing very well.
very well.
I was surprised.
Yeah, Pereira was good. In fact, the whole team was good actually. Made a
Yep,
few good runs. They troubled Liverpool, that's for sure.
they absolutely did.
Mm.
Who, Pereira and the other guy, Polina, is that his name?
Paulinho, yeah.
Very good as well. So definitely some good options there.
I'm always tempted, like when I say always, just a little bit tempted to start Pereira in ahead of Bailey, maybe. But we'll see. At the moment, no. But Fulham's threat is, I think, more standout than Aston Villa.
It's good to see Fulham uh, showing a threat, playing
Yeah,
similarly to the way they did last season against a big team like Liverpool.
yeah,
So I hope that they do continue that. You can see they're putting a lot more emphasis on Mitrovic, which is good
yeah,
to see.
sure, yeah.
Pereira's not going out of my team at all.
No, not at all.
If anything, I like three strikers, so there's still a good
Yeah.
chance that I end up going Mitrovic at some stage.
Mm.
But the choice is at the moment going the cheaper 6.5 forward in Mitrovic, or that price bracket, or trying to get, let's talk about Liverpool, someone like Nunez. What do you think of them? I thought they looked pretty lackluster. Not great.
In the first half, they went to Liverpool weren't in it. Second half, they came more alive. Salah, Nunez. So it's good to see. But yeah,
The inevitable Salah scoring points once again. Game week 1.
yeah, yeah. I think they're going to link up very well, Nunez and Salah.
It looks like it. Diaz looked very dangerous too. Uh, I think at the end of the day, they're all going to score points and score goals. It's kind of like City in a way. Just get
Yeah,
get the most dangerous ones and hope for the best.
just interested to see once Jota gets back how they're going to line up. If you're going to keep Diaz, because the way Diaz played, there's no way you're going to bench Diaz after that performance.
I guess
Because he had chances.
yeah, there'll have to be some rotation though. Like even though Firmino didn't play that great as well in the first half,
Yeah,
they will rotate. I think it depends on who they're playing as well.
right.
Yeah. Anyway, Aston Villa and Bournemouth. Not exactly not the result we were expecting when we heard
Uh,
Bournemouth didn't have a defense. 2-0 win for them. Wow.
yeah, it's good to see a promoted club come out from the blocks. And well, yeah, Villa, yeah, they were very disappointing, I must say.
Are you disappointed in Bailey? Or disappointed in you picking Bailey?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, I think.
To me, it looks like Gerard doesn't know his best team, which is kind of weird because he's playing that same style that he's always played. So surely by
Mm.
now they haven't added that many players. You should know.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get away from Villa, please.
Okay, fine. Leeds and Wolves. This was not a surprise based on what I saw. People were big talking Aronson and Bamford last
Harrison,
week,
yeah, big talk of him.
so it's good to see them playing well.
Yeah, I mean Bamford is a consideration maybe late on in the season because he did look good.
For sure, yeah, both of those players. I mean, 5.5 for Aronson and I think 7 for Bamford.
Yeah,
It's good mid-price options to have, unlike last season where there were only like 5 strikers doing well at any stage. So the more the more the merrier, and the more the I think the variation in teams will be interesting then too. It's better that way.
yeah. I mean, there's 5.5 range to mid. So it's just luck of the draw thing. Just whatever preference, I suppose.
Yeah, Wolves. I can't speak much for them. Didn't expect Podence to score, but that's typical FPL. Everyone goes for Neto because he's playing up front, and then bam, the other guy scores.
Yeah,
Don't
disappointing.
I don't mind not having him though. Looking at Newcastle and Nottingham Forest, expected a Newcastle win. Yeah, they've been solid
Yeah,
under Howe
yeah,
and Trippier. Yeah, he's consistent. It's good to see for them as well.
yeah. Another defender overlooked, unfortunately. But for that price, 5.5, decent return for Trippier, I think.
I think so too. And Callum Wilson scoring again.
Yeah,
He was in your very first draft 2 weeks ago.
yeah, him and Trippier.
Hmm.
A big shout out to my brother. He had Wilson and Trippier, who outscored me in game week 1. So well done, bro.
These things happen.
Yeah,
Again, same thing as we just mentioned about Leeds. I like the look of Wilson. If he's fit and
yeah,
they have the fixtures, I might just go for him. Uh, Trippier, again, as soon as I have a transfer available and as soon as their fixtures line up with everything, it's an easy option to downgrade Robertson
so Robert,
to
yeah,
him. It gives you 2 million to work with. So far, I'm not too unhappy. I guess we have to say that, or else we get depressed. But
yeah.
it's one of those things. Speaking of depressed, Southampton fans can't be too happy with The
Oof.
result against Spurs 4-1.
Yeah. Yeah. Spurs from the start. Attack. And yeah, they destroyed them, I think.
They were on it, and you know what? When I saw that same lineup tweeted out on Friday, and that was ultimately the reason why I didn't go Perisic or Doherty in
Yeah.
defense.
I'm so glad I avoided them.
And Sessegnon played so well on the left side. Good grief!
I was very impressed.
And now, even if I did own Perisic now, I'd be thinking, is he gonna be
I think
starting that
he's
much?
a threat there with Essendon, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they're gonna rotate a lot, but I don't want to be investing too much money there if he's not gonna play every like 60 minutes every week.
No, exactly.
And again, if Sessegnon keeps playing much more and plays well, then it might be better to get him.
He did.
Indeed. Son versus Kane, we lost that argument there. Kane lost. Son played very well. Son was pretty selfish at times as well.
I mean, that's typical some play. You see how frustrated Kane got,
at one
especially
stage.
with that one attempt that he had when he ran through the play in the box, and then he could have played it off to Kane, but decided not to, and that just
They
ticked me off.
cut in, cut in, cut in, and still
Yeah,
didn't. But Southampton side, I don't remember any of their players to be honest. Oh, James Ward-Prowse
General Price, yeah.
scoring the first goal, so good for him.
Hmm.
But apart from that, eh,
Yeah.
nothing there. That
Let's
that
gradually move on to
too
your team.
a better yeah. My
Yeah.
team played not too well. Talking about Chelsea and Everton, yeah. Chelsea won 1-0. Jorginho penalty. Yay. I was kind of hoping Mount would take it, but
Yeah.
Jorginho was on the field.
I mean, based on the penalties that were given over the past week, I mean, Fulham penalty was a bit soft, but you could see Van Dijk marginally touched him, and then
I,
Mitrovic, the big
I think
Serbian, just had to go down.
I think Mitrovic was playing for that. You could see the way he put in a good touch just before that to set it up. So I
Yeah.
mean,
But still, just
good on
keep
him.
your balance, man. Play fair. Don't go down.
Took advantage of the rules, I guess. And I mean, speaking of penalties, yeah, was it Chilwell? Stonewall penalty for me, who got tackled.
Yeah.
So bad defending by Decore, I think it was. Uh, Everton though didn't look terrible.
No.
It was a boring game. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't really watch the whole game.
Fair enough. I mean, at the same time,
Again,
we as South Africans had to be watching the rugby as well.
of course, yeah.
Yeah. So
And be wary of load shedding. I think that was my problem. Load shedding during the Everton game. So I
yeah,
watched the last half of the Springboks and New Zealand, and then, yeah, moved on with my life.
yeah. So for me, again, not too happy with Mount. Good to see Chilwell starting, and interested to see what happens. Okay, Cucurella played as well, so
Hmm.
they're definitely rotating at the wing backs. James played, and Aspilicueta has now re-signed for 2 years, so nothing's going to change there. And
Think you'll play the same 11 against Spurs?
I don't know. I mean, Mount came off after like 60 minutes, so I'm a bit worried there.
Yeah.
But I mean, Timo Werner's now gone back to Leipzig as well, so we don't really
Good
have.
for him. Yeah.
And Hudson Odoi is wanting a loan move, so
Interesting.
we don't really. Okay, we have a big squad. I shouldn't say we don't have many options because we do, but we kind of have to play our best 11 at the moment. So
Yeah.
I think we will.
Great.
Move on to Sunday, Leicester Brentford. Honestly, I didn't watch this game at all.
No, I was watching. I don't know why I was watching my game, but anyway, the
Yeah,
Leicester game seemed more entertaining. I
as
mean,
I said,
going up 2-0
yeah,
and then, yeah, conceding those two goals in the latter stages. Bit disappointing for Ward, but yeah, credits to Brentford.
everything you said there is true.
Yeah.
Only what I know about the game is based on tweets I read, and people were upset with Rodgers for they brought on Daka for Madison in the second half after like 60 minutes. So they went more attacking after being 2-0 up,
Yeah.
and then they conceded 2 goals.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, yeah,
what can
it's
you
not
say?
ideal, but come on,
No.
be a bit more conservative when you're winning on the
Of
first game of
course,
the
yeah,
season.
especially two up.
Man United, do you want to talk about it? Do we have to?
I mean, we must. Doesn't mean we should. I mean, it's a typical United performance. Um, our team is just in shambles, especially at the back. I mean, Martinez looked good. I'm not faulting him. Still acclimatizing to United. I'm sure he'll only get better. But the fact that we have to play Maguire because of the homegrown players is still above me. Uh, we definitely need to start Malacio on the left. Dallo didn't look at his best. Midfield, not much to say really.
McFred.
Fred looked all over the place. McTominay was not. He was dangerous, not attacking, just the way he hurt Brighton. Uh,
As a weapon?
as a weapon, yes.
A human weapon.
Yes. Up front, surprisingly, we played Ericsson in a false nine. Ericsson up front with Rashford and Sancho on the wing, and then Bruno number 10. But obviously, they interchanged during the game. Why they didn't play Ronaldo, I don't know why. Just it's typical United.
Well, he wasn't fit apparently.
I don't care. A non-fit Ronaldo at 70% is much better than the horse crap that we played up front. Excuse the language, but United just aggravates me. And where was Benny McCarthy? Like, they didn't even show him at once.
Who knows? I'm sure he was there, just in the
Blindsided, yeah.
director's box, maybe chowing.
We need a first team coach up front.
Okay, let's speak about the other team then, Brighton. I mean, I mentioned to you they sold their two best players and they pulled off a very good performance again.
Against a very overrated United team. So credits to Brighton.
I forgot who's. Oh, it was an own goal, hey?
The one, no, was it Grob or Grobler? I'm saying Grobler. I'm saying Grob. Gross.
Yeah, United's goal though. Well, that was an own goal, wasn't it?
Trying to think how they scored.
I think it was
Yeah,
listed as an own goal.
McAllister, yeah, own goal.
So you can't even claim that one goal.
No, can't.
Yeah, I think they looked very good. Again, Lamptey looked very nice again on that right hand side. Very solid team at the moment.
Yeah, like you said, what's the manager? Potter, very underrated manager.
Does very well with limited resources. Good man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then we've spoken about West Ham and City. Let's move on. End of this. All right.
Yes.
Fixtures. Just having a look at the upcoming 5 fixtures. Currently top of the list we have Brentford, Man City, Brighton, Wolves, and Arsenal. So there's some mid-table teams there. Some solid ones too. Brighton, we mentioned, who just played well.
Oh, see, so yeah.
So if you need to find money to invest in the big players like the Haalands and the others that we don't have, there are good players to get.
I mean, for me, I'm not really going to invest in Tony right now. I mean, he does have good fixtures, but I mean, Jesus at 8 and that extra 0.5, I mean, it's not necessary. Arsenal also have good fixtures up until international break, so I think I'll keep him for the long run, actually.
I agree. Looking at the bottom of the list, we have Crystal Palace, Bournemouth have the worst fixtures. Newcastle haven't got the best ones, but that's because they play City and Liverpool.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be. We shouldn't take that for granted because they're a solid team, and the other games are still good there. So I think that's a bit of a red herring. And United are also there for some reason. And the only difficult games are really Liverpool. If you look at the others, they aren't that bad.
I mean, for United, I consider every game a dangerous game. So it's plausible there. We should be at the bottom of the ranking, yeah, the fixture list, actually.
It's what do you think? Okay, sorry to go back to the team, but what do you think of Ten Hag? I know it's the first game in the league.
I mean, I like him, but people are probably just discrediting him after that first game with his personnel choice on the field.
I think it'll take time.
Yeah, unless he's just trying to get his right, how can I say, his right team up front.
Yeah, and they're working on 2 transfers, as you mentioned earlier.
Shall we mention those 2 transfers? Post?
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Who are you linked with?
So we are linked. I don't want to say Arnautovic, and I think Rabiot. I think he's clear Rabiot, so he's a United player.
It's a good signing in midfield.
I mean, 5 years ago, yes, I would have said yes to the both of them. To be honest, Arnautovic, attack wise, he's good on the ball, but now it's just like going to be another Falcao, another Cavani. So I
Yeah.
have no idea why we're not getting credible players like Benzema. Not that we will get Benzema, just the fact that we are trying to get a goal scoring threat.
Yeah. I
Why are
think
we going back?
I don't know why Arnautovic. It's very random. Okay, I guess it's based on what's available on the market, and there isn't much. Okay, there is actually still a lot of time left in the window, but there are
I
players
mean, he's
in the
just
league you can get for that price,
he's just buying players that he worked under in the past.
basically.
So where's Anthony? Get Anthony, please. Just get him. Forget Arnautovic. Anthony, he's a proven goal scorer. Please, please.
Desperation. Okay, let's have a look at. I want to talk about people who are complaining about choosing the wrong big hitters
Right.
pre-game week one, right? So the template was basically choosing Salah. It was going big two or big three, right? So it was Salah, Kane. That was the main two plus Jesus,
Yeah.
right? And then some people went Haaland instead of Kane, but still had the same structure more or less. We all had that 4.5 Neco Williams or 4 million Neco Williams, 4.5 Andres Pereira, Greenwood,
Yeah.
and those other players, right? Trent, etc. So there's a definite template there. So I wanted to have a look at how many of the 8.5 million players owned, let's say, the template that we have. So that template of Kane, Salah, Trent, etc. So the players that I looked at are the ones that most people had in the templates. So it was Salah, Trent, Jesus, Kane, Cancelo, Ward, Williams, and Andreas.
So
Most
you tick all those. Yeah.
you would say most people had that
Yeah.
generally, but how many of those people had those players together in one team? And the above combination, as you can see, only 2.6% of players had those players in their team. 2.6% of players is what? Uh, oh god, I can't do maths now. About 170,000 players,
Around here.
more or less, out of 8.5 million. And yeah, we're thinking like we have most people have these players in their teams.
That is interesting.
Same combination though. Let's say it's more or less the same combo, but now instead we switch Kane out for Haaland, right?
Okay.
How many people do you think it's going to be higher or lower than 2.6%?
I'll say marginally higher.
Okay, so the same combo with Haaland, 2.48% of players had them. So again, very similar to the Kanes. So
Yeah.
again, it's not like the fact that we went Kane over Haaland doesn't mean that we're now massively behind the eight ball. Most people, 90, call it 97.5% of the game, didn't have this combo of players.
No.
Not that bad, right?
But I mean, as fantasy dictates, Holland outscored Kane.
Yes, he did. And I thought I'd carry on looking at this because I mean you can do any number of combinations. Yeah. I should just mention, as you can see, credit the livefpl.net website. That's where I got this info from. So if you want to play around, you can do that there. It's a very nice website to look at your live rank before the game updates. So as the games are ongoing, you can check your live rank as goals are scored or as things happen.
Thumbs up to them.
Yeah, very nice website. And so looking at the next combo, this one is without Kane or Haaland up front, and instead going for Son and Salah in midfield. Okay,
Yeah.
that combo was
Wow.
owned by 0.3% of players, so almost no one went for this basically.
Yeah.
Our old co-host Leighton, in his one of his last two drafts, he had Son in his midfield, and then he also reverted back. I think he went with Haaland in the end, so
Good man.
good for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd be surprised with Son scoring so much last season. You'd think he'd be higher in this combo at least, Son and Salah.
Mm. Yeah. Big differentials there,
Yeah.
especially with Sun.
And then the last one, I thought I'd look at the people who went with the the big upfront combo, and it was one of your last drafts that you sent me. Remember, I joked with you about it. How many
Yeah,
people went?
look how well they did. So that's
How
yeah.
many people went with Kane, Haaland, and Jesus up front, and keeping Salah, Trent, and Cancelo in defense, plus those other players. And
Well, yeah. I mean,
0.07% of players had that combo. The big three, Salah in midfield. Obviously, there's not much money left
yeah.
to get that, so I understand why that was the case.
I mean, it's not a bad idea, but you can invest elsewhere, I suppose. It's an interesting strategy. I mean, I like. I mean, ideally, I would have wanted Haaland, Kane, and Nunes, but then I
Mm,
would have had yeah, a very bleak midfield.
definitely. I think the draft you sent me that had the big three up front, you had Darlow and Rashford as well in midfield.
Yeah,
So, yeah, not worth that kind of sacrifice, I don't think.
not at all. Especially United players.
Should have gone Welbeck, come on. Okay, and that's basically it stats wise. This is just interesting to look at and play with. I like the live FPL website just to keep track of my demise and just dismiss of game week as it
I mean, this
happens.
just makes me want to play my wild card instantly. Let's just
Oh,
move on from this, please.
okay, we can. Fair enough. Okay, so we're looking at the game week fixtures for game week 2. Predictions
All
wise,
right.
do you want to go first or should I? Aston Villa versus Everton.
I mean, both got off to disappointing starts. Um, can't say. This game is probably going to be a draw or a sneaky Everton.
What's your decision?
Sorry. um, okay, I'll give Villa 1-0. I'm going against my
Okay.
odds.
Villa bad form. I don't like the way they started. That being said, they're playing at home. And it's Everton, who don't have a striker. I'm going to go with a Villa win, 2-1.
Okay.
Arsenal versus Leicester, I'm going to go with an Arsenal win, call it 2-0.
Okay. Yeah, the fact that I've Ward in goals, it's not looking good, but hopefully get some save points. I'll give Leicester a goal, 3-1.
Brighton Newcastle.
Draw.
Okay. Low scoring win for Brighton,
Right.
1
Okay.
0. Man City Bournemouth, oh god. Um,
Is there enough paper to turn the page? Oh, thank you.
4-0
Yeah, 4-5 now.
to Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
Yeah, to City, obviously. Southampton Leeds.
Southampton look bad. Leeds look good. I'll give a sneaky win to Leeds.
I'm going to go the opposite. Why not?
Okay.
2-1 win to Southampton.
Okay.
They're going to find a way to win. I don't know. Don't know how.
Against United, of course. In the next few games.
Wolves and Fulham. I'm going to go
Oh
with.
no.
I'm going to go with a. I'm going to go with a draw. 1-1.
Yeah, same. Draw or Fulham win
Hmm.
against the grain.
And then the main event of Saturday, we have Brentford versus United at Brentford.
Even Ivan Toney being linked with United. Just sign him. Yeah, I'll go. Uh, hates me to do this, but I'm gonna go United. It's
Okay,
painful.
no bias there at all.
No.
Um, I don't know. Your team your
It's
team
hard.
is your team is so inconsistent. It can't.
You're in a shambles. But I'm sure you'll bounce
I'm
back.
gonna assume that uh, Ronaldo's gonna start. So based on that, I'm gonna go United 2-1.
Okay.
Sunday, Nottingham Forest at home versus West Ham. I'm gonna go with a West Ham win 2-1.
Interesting. I think Forest first game at home, the crowd will back them. I think I'll give them a draw or a Forest win against the odds.
I will admit I haven't watched much of Forest yet, so I'm gonna try and watch that game on Sunday so I can get a proper opinion of them,
Yeah,
along with the other teams that I haven't watched yet. So just for scouting purposes.
right.
And then the main event of Sunday afternoon, we have
Gentlemen.
the London Derby, Chelsea versus Spurs. What do you think?
I mean, I want Chelsea to keep a clean sheet because of James, but I'm basing on my predictions from fantasy. But realistically, I think a draw.
Yeah, it sounds like a draw, but it also seems like a game that we would win 1-0. I'm gonna go. I don't know. It's a tough one. It could go either way. If Kane and Son link up well, maybe.
And if Son just plays the ball to Kane and non-greedy Son, then yeah, maybe.
I felt Sterling played very well for us in that first game. It links up very well with the players. Uh, Still can't shoot, but the rest is good.
Yeah,
Um, for now, you know what? I'm going to say Chelsea 1-0 because we were pretty solid in defence. We'll see if we stay that way. Hopefully, we don't get routed. Just
nah,
ruin
I don't think
ruin my opinion completely.
so.
But yeah, okay. I'm going with a 1-0 win. Final game on Monday: Liverpool versus Crystal Palace at Anfield.
Yeah, Palace didn't look bad at all. They looked good against Arsenal, but I think Liverpool at home clean sheet 2 0.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm not going to give it a high scoring game.
Mind you, Palace did give them problems in the past, but
True.
we'll see.
I like that as well. Yeah, 2-0. I think they might concede, which is going to infuriate me with that double defense,
Yes.
especially because I said that that's going to happen. So I really hope that doesn't happen. So either way, I'm saying 2-1. Yeah, they're going to concede. My gut says they're conceding.
As long as Trent and Robbo give assists, then I'm happy.
Yeah, or score. That'll be great. It's good to see them both on corners though,
Oh,
and
indeed,
free
yeah.
kicks. Yeah. All right. So having a look at our plans, just before we talk about that, I saw a tweet on the weekend which very interesting and good to keep in mind before making those rage transfers or rage wildcards, especially from Press FPL, saying one of the most underappreciated skills in FPL is finding the balance between patience and aggression, and sums it up very well.
Yeah, I think for me, it's the patience with that wild card. I got to just wait it out.
Yeah, not rage wildcard. Just
No,
ignore that completely. Take your time to think things over. But at the same time, like with the move from Kane to Haaland, we had to be aggressive this weekend because his
of course, yes.
price is going to rise immediately. So
Yeah.
in that sense, you need to know when to do it.
Mm,
On that note, let's have a look at our teams. I'm going to go first. Why not? Because you went first with the scores.
fine.
I went Kane to Haaland on Sunday night, right before the price rises, and or was it Saturday? Whenever. And yeah, so I'm lining up with Ward, Cancelo, double pool defense, James, Mount, Martinelli, Bailey, Salah, captain, Haaland, and Jesus. With Andreas as my first sub, Andreas Pereira, and Bailey could switch. Depends on how I feel later in the week. We'll see.
That's my dilemma as well.
Yeah, so that's basically where I'm sitting. I'm currently on Salah captain,
Yeah.
and having a look at your team. What are you on?
Yeah. So pretty much similar teams. I went with Ward, James, Trent, Cancelo, Robbo, Salah, Vaz, Neto, Saka, Bailey, Haaland, captain, and Jesus, and the bench the same. Mm, I think for
How
me, the
likely are
Haaland,
yeah, okay.
Salah captaincy choices, they will rotate obviously aggressively throughout the season. But I think, like I said in the previous um, PowerPoint, shall I say, Salah at home to Palace is a bit dodgy. Haaland get a resounding home welcome at the City. So I think he may outscore Salah.
How likely
Mm.
are you to go with Bailey over Pereira?
45%, like I'm uncertain. Us, but I still need to see Fulham's fixtures. If you have those fixtures from Game Week 3, because I know Bailey has a difficult game, so I could rotate him. Game Week 3. Yeah, Fulham, Wolves, and where's Villa? Blah, blah, blah.
Below them,
Yeah,
Villa have Everton, Crystal Palace, West Ham, and then the two hard games in Arsenal and City.
yeah. So, I mean, it's tough. I mean, for those fixtures, maybe I'll go Pereira from Game Week 3.
Mm,
So I'll keep Bailey for this game week and Neto and see how they do.
fair enough.
And other than that, I'm happy with my current team.
Also, okay, so again, looking at you're just mentioning it, looking at the captaincy. Shout out to FPL Fledgling for his
Yeah.
meme. Happiness on one side, people captaining Salah this week. Me, happiness on the other end, people captaining Haaland this week.
Uh,
Bournemouth. Who are you most scared of? Is that why you're captaining Haaland? Is that based on just a fad? You saw him play on the weekend and now you're captaining him?
just his numbers. He's a goal scoring machine.
And
I
Salah.
mean, so is Salah, but still, like I said, I think Haaland at home is good.
I think Salah at home is good too.
I know, but it's hard. It's a hard choice.
I don't know what to expect. I fully think that Nunez is going to start against Palace.
I would hope so after his
He's
antics
and
coming off the bench.
he's played well twice
Yeah.
now.
Mm.
For he didn't start in the Community Shield, eh? No, came off
No.
the bench.
Yeah.
So two good bench performances. He's going to start against Palace at Anfield. His first Anfield game, I think, with Diaz on the left, probably. They've had not a great result in game week 1. I think, having said that they're going to win 2-1 in my predictions, I think there's a very good chance that they try and really put it to Palace based on that first week draw.
Yeah, I like that, but for Holland,
This sounds like the argument that people made last season when Ronaldo joined
yeah,
United. It's like, okay, well, you could get anyone, Kane, Salah, etc. But if it's Ronaldo, it's Ronaldo
yeah. I mean, he did make an instant impact.
in his debut, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
and then things happened.
I don't think you can go wrong this week, captaincy
No,
wise. It's
it's just preference, I suppose.
the main thing is that next week people can't or shouldn't complain or be upset if one or the other hauls, because
Yeah,
it's
no,
it's the pretty high chance that they both haul. So if
yeah,
one scores one more goal than the other, it's not going to make that big a difference.
no,
The fact that you own them both is more important.
exactly.
What'll be most annoying is if someone like Foden or Mahrez score. Oh,
Right.
that's a good question to ask. Going back to your teams, are you considering taking a hit? Maybe doing, I don't know, uh, Saka to Foden for the double up in midfield?
I mean, it is something to think about. Having
Or Mahrez?
three city players
Yeah.
for 5, 6 game weeks. To be honest, uh, Foden maybe. Grealish actually looked pretty good for a million
Less.
less. Yeah,
Mm.
sorry, I can't speak. Um,
But Saka
much
played
to
well
think
though.
about.
That's a good
He
thing.
did, yeah.
So in your
That's,
case, it's less likely, I think.
no, there's no need to right now.
But
No
me,
panic transfers at the moment.
I have Mount. So
Yeah.
again, you just said it.
There's debate, yeah.
Don't panic. But
Yeah.
I have Mount who did nothing against Everton, and he came off early.
I mean, you may have a case for you, but like I said, it's choice.
But now Murphy's law is that I base all of that on taking Mount out,
Yeah.
and then I choose Foden, and then this weekend comes, and then he gets benched for Mahrez.
That's the chance you're taking.
So again,
Or
therefore,
go Grealish. Who's,
not
there's
convinced he's
not
going to
really a sealed City midfield.
I think I'm going to stick to that, and then see.
Yeah.
I'll take it from there. Anyway, I think we are in for a good game week 2. I think there'll be goals all round. Almost all our players are playing at home as well, except for
Yeah.
Ward. So I'm keen for that. I always like seeing that.
I cannot wait.
Yeah. On social media, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Fan Challenged, and on YouTube, you can follow us or subscribe to us and like our videos, please, at Fantasy Challenged, one word. And we appreciate all those likes and views too. If you prefer not seeing our faces, you can listen to our voices only on podcasts at Apple Podcasts. I forgot the name of that one. Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever else you listen to your podcast. I don't know why I just saw the picture. I was like, what does that mean? What is
Yes,
that? Uh,
lines.
these things happen. Anyway, that means it's time to go. Good luck for
Yeah.
the game week, Alex, and everyone else.
Same to you, Challen.
And thank
Almost
you.
forgot your name. Jeez.
Happens to us all. Anyway,
Mm,
goodbye all. Cheers.
cheers.